Probably going
Welcome to McMillan and Morrow, people. I'm Dr. Sean McMillan. This is Rich Morrow.
And I'm laughing already. Good to see y'all, people.
Listen, sit back, relax. Got another great show for you. We're going to travel into the sublime and the stupid, because that's what we do.
Yep.
And this is going to be interesting, I'm sure. So why don't you get us started? And
It always is, isn't it? And what is that noise?
I don't know. It's the sound of my exasperation.
Sound like a roller coaster about to take off. That's the sound of my exasperation.
Sound of my exasperation. That's what that is.
That was good. Okay. So we're going to stay in L.A. for our first story today. I feel like we never do that. That might be the first time this happened in 31 episodes.
You have the hat on and everything.
Got the hat on and everything. It was meant to happen, right? So you're going to find this kind of funny, I'm sure. During a recent performance of I'm going to pronounce his name right, Tchaikovsky Symphony. Yeah, Tchaikovsky's Fifth Symphony. A woman reportedly experienced a loud and full-body orgasm in the middle of the symphony.
Well, there you have it.
It took place during the symphony's second movement, and several attendees reported turning to see what was happening. And the woman next to her said that the woman's partner was smiling and looking at her in an effort to shame her when it happened. So there's an audio clip going around that I've actually heard the clip. There's a clip going around where you can hear the symphony and you hear, this woman just let out this loud, just scream like she's orgasming. And it definitely happened, and the orchestra just kept on playing like it never happened. But
now, what is Tchaikovsky's Fifth Symphony?
Yep.
I got to go listen to this.
It says a loud and full body organ. That sounds amazing. But it says that the moan was wonderfully timed too. It was like a romantic swell in the performance, as they call it. I've never heard that term being used in music, but romantic swell apparently can get you there. You ever heard a song that excited you before?
I think you know me well enough to know that there probably has not been,
No. Yeah.
nor will there ever be, a piece of music
That could do that.
that can make me climax without touching being accompanied with it.
I feel like women got it made if they can do that. I don't know if a man could possibly. But then again, I don't want to go too deep in it. We could get real off topic with this. But I was going to say, men have wet dreams of stuff where it happens without even touching yourself. You wake up, you could be dreaming, but you're not physically being touched and still have orgasms.
Isn't that more leaking?
No, people have full-blown orgasms when they sleep.
Really?
Yeah.
Have you ever had a full-blown orgasm in your sleep?
I may have. It's natural. It's a part of the human experience.
I'm not judging you.
No, I'm just saying.
I feel you got very defensive.
No, I didn't. It felt weird answering that question.
Why? What's weird about it?
Because now everybody knows. But it's one of them things where, I feel like, I don't know if this would have happened to a man. I don't know if it's possible for us. I mean, it happens in a heightened state when we're sleeping, but wide awake, consciously, having an orgasm without being touched, that sounds kind of incredible, though.
Kind of incredible, though. I don't know.
Don't let people find out no secret to that. Be people walking around with headphones all day, listening to Tchaikovsky's Fifth Symphony and their headphones all day.
I'm going to listen to it on the drive home. If I don't climax, it's going to be a problem. Who can I sue?
You're going to have to call him and ask him what part of the song it's supposed to be.
Listen, I hope we come to that part alone. I hope there's not other people around. When we get to the, oh my God.
What would you do if you was on a date with somebody and that happened?
I would be like, wow.
Did you good?
Yeah, I would be like, wow, this is really good.
You really enjoyed that.
Does this happen often? And let's do this again, because this saves me some work.
So you would play the song for him anytime you felt like
Listen, anytime I was tired and didn't feel like it, go in there and put on Tchaikovsky.
You'd be all right.
This might save some marriage.
It could.
You listen, my feet hurt. You talking about licky licky? Put on some Tchaikovsky.
And sit down.
Sit down somewhere and take care of yourself. Do it yourself.
That's kind of crazy, though, huh?
It's terrible what I'm saying. I'm going to hell.
Yeah,
Lord Jesus, forgive us for having this conversation in your presence, but he brought it up.
Hey, no, I mean, I'm just reading the story.
You said something about women that I missed. You said women.
I said I feel like this might be only something that could happen to women without being touched.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Which makes the human body that much
okay,
more
let's find some dimension and depth in this.
Let's go.
Because the reason a man can have an orgasm in his sleep and a woman can have an orgasm
Without being touched.
listening to a symphony is because orgasms begin in the mind.
Okay.
They're actually mental things that the body ultimately responds to. And so if your mind isn't in a place
To be able to do that.
then ultimately it's not going to work out for you. And a lot of people are having problem with sexual compatibility.
Yeah.
It's not because the physical parts don't work. It's just that they're mentally and spiritually not either present or connected to the person they're having sex with.
Okay.
And there could be years of resentment and other things that make it harder for people to achieve the level of whatever sexuality or orgasm that they want to achieve. So my point is, I think human beings are human beings. Men and women are built differently in some ways.
Yeah.
But I think what we have in common in this particular area
It's a mental.
is, it's a mind thing.
Yeah.
And women have a better ability, and they've been socialized to be better at it, to look at sex and compatibility as more emotional, spiritual, mental things, whereas we are visual creatures
Yeah.
who require sight and touch.
So is that why you think a dream for men, men have those type of dreams that could achieve that for us because
Your mind is totally
it
at
doesn't
work.
know if it's real or not. And,
Yeah. You don't need nobody to touch you. That tells me. Have you had one of these recently?
No. It's been a while.
Okay.
But a while is a subjective term, so.
Might have been a week. Might have been 2 days. Use your imaginations, people, because sex is in the mind. Some of y'all are sleeping with him right now, in your minds. Have at it. See how you got his legs open?
If you orgasm, I'm going to need commission. I'm playing.
Commission. Orgasm, I'm gonna need a commission. My God.
You're welcome. Look, you're welcome.
You welcome? Look, you're welcome.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
Let me close my legs.
Too late. I tell you on other episodes. I don't even know what we're talking about.
It don't matter at this point, I don't think. Hold on.
Oh, about the people women have.
Oh, yeah.
It's a mental. So I would say to people, because I've counseled couples.
Okay.
And married couples. And one of the things I cover when I'm going to do the wedding for a couple is sexual compatibility. Mm-hmm. How compatible are you? Are there issues?
Y'all actually have that conversation?
We have to.
Okay.
You have to. Because people assume
Everything
because we're
all
married
good.
and naked, everything's going to be good. Mm-hmm. No, we need to figure out a couple of things. Number one, what happens when she's pregnant? Mm-hmm. And at a certain stage can't have sex. Mm-hmm. What happens after the pregnancy?
And for clarification, how long is it usually during a pregnancy that you're not allowed to?
Well, I'm not a medical doctor.
I was curious.
Y'all Google that.
That's a Google question.
But no, it's a very great question,
Yeah.
and people need to know that.
Yeah.
I'm just not qualified to get an answer.
I got you.
After people are pregnant, there can be, and there's no time.
There's a grace period, right?
No, my point is her body, her mind is going to tell her.
Oh, okay.
So it could be whatever the the medical thing is, to way longer than that.
Yeah.
So how do you deal with sexual urges?
Okay.
Okay, no, let's keep going. What happens when he experiences erectile dysfunction at some point in his sexual journey? As a lot of men do. Some men only experience it for a little while. Some have to take medication.
Yeah.
What happens then? What happens when she goes through menopause? So, I mean, what I'm saying, when you
Those
get
are all
married,
things to talk about beforehand. Yeah.
you have to have these conversations before you get married.
Yeah.
So you can at least have something to refer back to and give you guidance on how you said you wanted to deal with it.
Yeah.
And people just think that, no, we're going to get married, we're going to have sex, we're going to have babies.
It's
and
like a contract and finding out the terms and conditions before you get into the deal.
No,
That's what it sounds like as you're explaining it to me. Could be wrong, but that's what it sounds like.
No, it's not wrong. There's no right and wrong.
Sounds like a deal.
I'm pushing back. No, I'm pushing back on that language because that language creates a kind of formality to it.
Yeah.
What it is, it's a beautiful conversation that two people that love each other and are giving themselves to each other can vulnerably have.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you can say to a person, you, the proverbial you, I don't really like it. I don't like anal play. Or the other person can say, I need anal play.
Yeah.
So if you're about to marry somebody
who like getting their booty played with, and you
and
don't like playing with booty.
and you don't like playing with booties, then we probably should talk about that, right? What are we gonna do?
I'm wondering how they got that far to wanting to get married without knowing.
You'd be surprised.
Yeah.
I married a couple once, and he had never seen her completely naked.
How?
They had sex.
Huh?
No, this is a true story. I'm not gonna mention any references.
At no point though, huh?
Before they got married, he had never seen her completely naked, and they had sex, which means that she had a T-shirt on.
You know, they usually.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Let it out.
I was gonna say they must have been doing it in places they wasn't like. You only doing that and lifting your shirt up like that when you know you ain't supposed to be doing it.
No. That's. I'm glad you said that.
Or they just lazy.
No, will you let me answer the question?
Okay.
The devil is a lie. No, she had body dysmorphia.
Oh, okay.
So she didn't feel good about her body. She didn't feel confident about him seeing it. She thought it would be a turnoff. So she always had part of herself covered. And they were having sex at home.
That's crazy.
It's not.
No, I'm just saying it's just crazy.
You know how many people go through the same thing?
I hear about body dysmorphia from women, but
Men have it too.
wow, and I know. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, men have it too. But I don't want to get into body dysmorphia. The point I'm making is...
You laughing at Tyler?
Some people, Rich.
Yeah, some people. Yeah, right. He
Y'all be making me sound
he
like
can
I
never
don't
relate
like
to
it.
not liking his body. He absolutely
There's
loves
parts of my body I definitely have moments not liking for
it.
sure.
What part is that?
My little love handles sometimes that start developing
Why don't
when
you
I
show
have
us?
too much.
Show
lactic.
America your love handle.
Nah, we ain't gonna do that.
Can I go back to the point I was making?
Yeah.
What happens on this show? Does anybody
So
know?
much. So much.
So couples need to have their conversation about sex before they get married.
Yeah.
And even while you're dating someone, to know, how you can mentally engage. One of the things I know for sure is that we don't spend enough time making the people we want to have sex with want to have sex with us. That is to say, we don't say what needs to be said and behave the way we need to behave to make sex truly a wonderful, spiritual, and not just a quickie experience.
Okay. Yeah.
And if you're going to be having sex with the same person, let's say you believe in not monogamy, the same person, only this person for the rest of your life,
You need to know what they want and what they
you
don't
need to
like.
know and you need to agree. And people's sexual things change,
That's true.
right? What you liked when you were 18 is probably not the same as what you like now. He's like, no, it's the same.
It's pretty par for the course.
Okay, it won't be when you're 40.
Yeah, not for everybody though. I'm sure too
It
though.
won't be when you're 40. So
Yeah.
the point I'm only making is let's have these conversations with the people that you're engaged with because just not talking about it and doing it is not a protection for being able to do it with longevity. And sometimes people can line up with you twice as fast when you explain why you want something.
Okay. I like that.
So if you don't tell the person I really play with my booty or it's a problem, how do they know?
Yeah, I guess you're right. And yeah, it's transparency at the end of the day. And when you actually know who you're dealing with too, I mean, it makes you want to be more open to how you feel about things. So it's a two-way street. And I think
You know,
having the courage to have that
cut you off.
conversation.
You know what a great relationship is, in my opinion?
What's that?
I didn't want to lose this point.
Yeah.
Is absolute vulnerability.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
You can absolutely be vulnerable, and you know it's going to be honored, it's going to be heard, it's going to be respected, and the person is going to absorb it, take it in with love, and give it back to you with kindness. That's home.
Yeah.
That's home.
It's that love
And
sandwich.
if you are in a relationship and you can't be vulnerable, I mean, don't have to wear makeup, don't have to, have a six-pack all the time.
Yeah. Don't have to have your hair cut.
Then you don't know what it is to be in a great relationship. And you could be having monkey sex all over the house.
Yeah.
13 orgasms every 2 hours.
Yeah.
And you still don't know what a great relationship is. Because you have to perform, you have to wear your crown all the time, you got to have your hair done all the time. You can't come to the moment completely like, look.
I'm showing up as I am.
That's home.
Yeah, that's home. And that's what it's all about, is finding home in other people.
With other people.
With other people.
Not in other people.
Yeah, you're right.
Well,
With great
right.
correction. I'm glad you corrected. But yeah, you knew what I meant.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, that's an interesting subject. Can you believe we got all of that out of some woman orgasming without being touched?
Whenever we talk about sex, it goes on for a while.
So on that note, we're gonna go to a break. Remember, y'all can watch us anywhere that you guys have streaming platforms. Also, we have Spotify, Apple Music. It's a podcast too, so take us in your car, take us in your headphones, take us wherever you listen to your podcast too.
Next time I want you to say that with a lot more energy.
Don't go down to Australia, down under.
Don't even do it.
Down under.
Don't do it.
Park my car by the highway. Oh no, that's Boston accent.
What? That's Boston. What in the world just happened?
It's been a long day, Doc. So, down in Australia, mate. That's what I meant.
How did you mix up the accents so terribly?
Been meeting a lot of people lately. Brain is shuffled, auditioning for a lot of different roles, a lot of accents, a lot of backstories, a lot of confusion. So, according to Outkick, publication down in Australia, an OnlyFans model, you know what OnlyFans is, right?
I do.
How do you know what OnlyFans
I
is?
subscribe to a few
I was about to
people.
be like, how do you know what
I
OnlyFans
subscribe
is?
to a couple of people who shall remain nameless.
Okay, all right.
I'm not ashamed of
An
it.
OnlyFans model finds out that her mom's boyfriend is one of her best paying subscribers.
Yeah, that's a little weird.
A little
That's
too much dip
weird.
on the chip.
Your mom's boyfriend subscribes to your OnlyFans.
And is one of your best paying subscribers, which means that he's been on there for a while.
No, that's something ain't right.
Yeah, definitely.
I know of someone who was subscribing to his daughter's friends
Paige.
page.
I'm not surprised by that.
And yeah,
I'm not. How old were they? Were they like 20s?
of legal age.
Okay.
Everybody's legal.
Yeah, no, I know. But I'm wondering if they were like younger.
But it's just a little,
It's very weird.
Because
it's telling, honestly. I feel like you're kind of telling on yourself, first of all. But second of all, I'm not surprised because you hear crazier stories of people actually taking it to further lengths than just subscribing. So, you got to be careful who you let, your kids stay with. That's all I'm saying. Be mindful of their parents and the people around them, because I've heard some crazy stories, actually in the last couple of years, of some stuff that we can't even talk about on this show. So, but I'm going to go into the story a
we
little
can't
bit
talk
more.
about it at all.
No, we can't.
Really, we would get sued.
Nah, but a lot of lives would be changed. She revealed that her mother had a handful of friends.
You can't just change the names.
It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. I don't even feel right saying it. But it was bad. And it revolved around the stem of a parent being around friends of their child and a long-standing history without it being known that there was attraction levels there, and then the parent.
Is everybody adults?
ultimately- Yeah, no, but have known them since they were kids.
Oh, well, that's creepy.
Extremely.
But let me ask you this, because let me push back a little bit. So let's say you have an adult parent, and you have adult parents.
I think I know where you're about to go with this.
has kids, and they're pretty much adults. They're over 20,
And then you get attracted.
and they have friends, and the parent and the friend are. Is anything wrong with that?
I mean, not necessarily, but morally, I feel like
Morally?
not morally, but ethically in our culture, it's not looked at as something that's healthy, because then it's.
Oh, I don't see
assumed
anything
that-
wrong with that.
I see that it being assumed that that person has always, been attracted to them even from a young age.
No, I'm not. Your scenario, that you are familiar with personally, is the kid and the friend were big kids. They grew up together.
And the parents have known this child since.
That's different to me.
Yeah.
I'm
Than
saying-
just meeting a friend.
I'm saying, let's say your kids go to college.
Okay.
And they have a friend.
Okay.
Let's not take it off you. And the parent.
I get what you're saying.
And the parent has an attraction to the college friend.
Okay.
And the college friend has an attraction to the parent.
That happens every day.
Is anything wrong with that?
I mean, that's not my place to say. I think it's long as they're of age and it's not.
They're in college. Of
I
course
mean,
they're
there's
of
people
age.
that are dating that are twice each other's age all over the place, right?
I don't think America. You may disagree. I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Yeah.
I think we have two consenting adults, and the parent and the friend have an attraction. Nobody's being coerced into nothing. If that's what they want to do, I think grown folks ought to be able to do what they want to do.
And they can.
I mean, it may be a little awkward for the kid.
And that's my thing, though.
You know.
I'm like, I just think in them situations, how does the kid feel? Because one, this is your parent, first of all. Like, it's hard to even sexually think about your parents in any way, shape, or form, let alone know that they're screwing one of your friends that you, like, I don't know. It feels like you're putting your kid in a tougher situation than anything.
Or I'm gonna be Angel's advocate, because you represent you be the legal counsel for the kid.
Okay, let's go.
I'll be the legal counsel for the parent.
Okay.
Or you are trying to make sure that you have a little happiness and joy, and that because
Everybody deserves that.
because you spent your whole life making sure this kid is okay, and now you have an opportunity to have some happiness yourself. Why should you forfeit your happiness so that your kid, who's grown by the way, cannot feel awkward?
I think everybody's free to do whatever.
Come on, you gotta represent the kid, but
I am representing the kid. Okay, representing the kid. I
Yeah.
would say, in the child's defense, though, you look at your parents as people that are meant to protect you and put you in situations that are going to aid
Okay.
to your happiness and
That's
to
good.
your well-being and to your success. Doing something like that along those lines goes to show, I feel like, a level of carelessness that parent has for that child in that regard.
carelessness.
Just because you're not even considering what that could ruin your child's friendship with that person forever. It could end up developing some kind of story. Stories and stuff like people pass rumors around. Like,
Can I my turn?
go ahead, but I'm just saying. Imagine though that gets out in your community that you grew up in, or amongst the community. Of
Imagine I don't give a damn.
friends. And that's the thing, and you're entitled to that. I agree.
I'm representing the parent. I'm not
Yeah,
the parent.
the
Don't be
parent
putting
is
this-
entitled
don't
to
be putting
that.
this on me like
Yeah,
this
my bad.
something I've done.
The parent is entitled to that, but I just feel like the way that I was raised, like for me, I would be looking at it from that lens of like, damn, like the parent just don't give a damn. But at the same time, they're free to do whatever they want. They're adults just like their kids are. I think it's a conversation that got to be had between the parent and the child to know moving forward the impact that it's probably going to
So
have.
let's reverse it. If one of my sons
One of the two. Okay.
was sleeping with one of my female friends, how's that any different? So, so she's older.
Okay.
Obviously, he's younger, right? Like right now, my sons are 30, 31.
Okay.
So one of my friends who may be in their mid-40s or early 50s,
Could easily. Yeah.
and they met, and she was fine, and I got handsome boys, because, look at this. And they,
Yeah, end up, yeah.
Could I legitimately have a problem with that?
I feel like the opposite way is different.
Oh, so now it's different. Now
But
it's
then
different.
again, I guess it's consensual either way too. But
It's consensual both ways.
yeah, it's a tough debate. I'm curious to know what our audience thinks about this because I don't have the answer for that. I don't.
Well,
It's interesting though, but I do feel like that there's got to be some kind of limit that can be crossed though, where something can be deemed as predatorial versus healthy and consensual as adults. You know, so if this is happening of legal age, obviously the legal age is 18, but if you're dealing with a freshly 18-year-old or 19-year-old and you're 50 or 40 something, that's going to raise a few red flags.
Hold on, because I'm not saying you're wrong, but this is so interesting about
It is very
Let
interesting.
me finish this thought. This is interesting about this country.
Yeah.
We will say to someone who's freshly 18
Yeah.
or 17, if you kill somebody,
Oh yeah.
we will charge you as an adult. But if you have sex with somebody, you still a child. We will say to an 18-year-old, you can buy an AR-47. Did I get the name of the gun right?
Yeah, you did. That's a gun.
Right? You can
Or
buy
AK-47 you were trying to say.
you can buy a gun at 18. But if you have sex, if a 50-year-old has sex with an 18-year-old, why did she or he take advantage of that child? So you're an adult with respect to committing crimes. You're an adult with respect to voting.
So you're saying that the
You're
government
an adult
has
with
selective
respect
outrage.
to buying a gun.
Okay.
But you're not an adult with respect to who you sleep with.
Yeah.
That's moral inconsistency. Are you an adult or not?
I hear you. I do. I don't know how I feel about it, honestly. I just don't know. I don't have kids, so it's hard for me to really know how I would feel about my child doing something, you know, in whatever capacity. But
I know for sure, and he can't sue me because I'm his father.
how your son would feel.
I know for sure one of my sons was sleeping with an older woman. I know it for sure.
And
Like,
was it a friend of yours?
not re-
You just knew of this person?
yeah.
Okay.
I knew of this person.
Okay.
I know it for sure.
Okay.
Now, we've never had a conversation about it. We've never talked about it.
I wonder if he gonna
but
see this.
I know it for sure. You hear me?
He probably like, it wasn't just her.
I know it for sure. I know it.
That might be his type.
And I was totally fine with it.
Yeah.
He was 18 years old, and
Okay.
if that's what he wanted to do,
Yeah.
I was fine with it.
Okay.
As long as it didn't interrupt
Yeah.
our plans. You still going to college.
Yeah.
You still going to do, but if,
Yeah.
listen. Now, was I wrong? Was I a bad parent?
No. I just think every situation, I'm sure, is just different. And now that you bring these points up, it's hard to defend it in the same way.
This is
And
what
I get
do.
what you're saying, though.
I should have been a lawyer.
There was something that I saw recently, though. It was like a post or something. And people were asking, you know, it was asking, I know, I remember it. They were asking people to say their age and then the oldest age they would date and the youngest age that they would date based off of their age. And I was going through just curious to see what people were going to be saying. And it's really interesting that a lot of the younger, I feel like early 20s type of women, their ceiling was a lot higher, you know, on what they were willing to do. And then the people that were in their, you know, 50s, 60s, 40s, I don't know if this is just for cover on social media, but it seemed like their floor was a little bit higher. You know what I'm saying?
They were lying. They was lying.
And
They was
I don't
lying.
know if it's a maturity level thing or
They were
what.
like, because a sexy 22-year-old come up to me, I'm going to be like, Lord.
But it has to be the desire of I feel like it's on the older party to be aware and cognizant of the actual desire and consent of the younger party. Because it could be, you know, a lack of maturity a lot of time. We had a conversation earlier. There's people walking around here with 6th grade, you know, levels of thinking.
So, stop. Hold that thought. I'm sorry to cut you off.
You good.
So we have to be consistent then.
Okay.
If you're not mature enough to have sex, then you shouldn't be mature enough to be charged as an adult when you commit a crime. How did you all of a sudden become immature? How did you all of a sudden become mature?
You ain't got to be mature to have sex.
Well, that makes my point even better.
Yeah, I know.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm not.
But do you think that law is there to protect people that do have the desires anyway from the people
No,
that?
it's there because we have a taboo.
Okay.
We have a taboo when it comes to sex and sexuality and intergenerational sex. I'm not talking about being a pedophile and we're not talking about that.
We're not even going
We're talking
there.
about consenting adults.
Yeah.
Who are legal with respect to almost every other thing. And I'm not talking about legal in terms of actual law.
Yeah.
Colloquially legal.
Yeah.
We would never say of 18-year-old, not never, but we often don't say of 18-year-old who robs the store, that child
Yeah.
or that little kid.
They're gonna call him a man.
We say that man went in there and did that to that family.
Yeah.
But now when it comes to someone dating someone who's older,
They're a child.
all of a sudden we colloquially refer to them as a child or a kid. And I'm saying it's because we have a taboo with sex.
Yeah.
We have to be consistent. Either you're a kid or you're not. And I'm fine either way. I'm just saying, then stop. Here's the point I'm making. You ready for this? I'm about to go left field.
Let's go.
Then stop charging young black boys as men.
Yeah.
Stop taking us into courtrooms for things we've done when we were 17 and 18
And treating
and
us
charging
like
us like men. If we're not men in the bedroom, why are we men in the courtroom?
So, what would your advice then be to the mother of this woman who had a boyfriend that's paying for her daughter's OnlyFans and watching her topless and all of these different things? Mind you, they're in a relationship too. So, this is
Well, I mean,
his choice of appetite, and he's spending up to, so he had spent $500 to see more explicit material and even exchanged messages with her. So at this point, he's venturing into cheating on his partner with her
hold
daughter.
on. Now, I mean, the creepy part is the friendship part. But he's going to be watching porn anyway.
I know, but it's his partner's daughter that he's going to be seeing at the dinner table, and
Oh, this is the daughter of the partner. That's out of order. That's out of order.
I'm saying it's kind of
There's no
It's
kinda.
murky waters.
But that, first of all, everybody watching, that's totally different from what we've been talking about.
Yeah.
Okay, let's make that clear.
Yeah, no, this is
Okay.
back to the story.
We're back to the story now.
Yeah.
I don't co-sign this because that is not cool.
It's disturbing.
That's somebody's daughter.
And you're going to see her, and she has to be around you, and she knows that you are. And obviously, when you put stuff out there on the internet, and this is why, the only reason I even am still on this topic is because this is a growing thing in America right now,
Yeah.
for sure. And not just America. This is an Australian story. So it's showing you it's a worldwide thing.
Yeah.
There's a lot of women that are putting themselves in positions with this OnlyFans vehicle to be in a different place financially, but at the same time, this stuff is out there, and you can't take it back. You know what I mean? You're going to have kids one day. You're going to have whatever you're doing 10 years, 5 years from now, 20 years from now, and this stuff is still going to be out there. So it's a matter of being aware of what you're getting into, because you are opening the door for anybody, your parents, their friends, your grandparents. Anybody has access to this stuff, and you don't have control over that.
See, I'm not, can I just say that? A little pushback. I'm not so concerned about that. If I was a woman, clearly I'm not, I'll be a guy. If I was on OnlyFans,
Okay.
and I had my butt cheeks in the photos and my giblets and my berries, I wouldn't give a damn 20 years from now if somebody sees it. I put it out there to be seen. What I'm saying in terms of this particular story is that I think the daughter also has a responsibility. She has a responsibility to block him. She has a responsibility to end his capacity
To be able to
see her, no matter how much money. It's not just he has a responsibility.
She accepted the $500.
She has a responsibility too.
And that's where I'm looking at it as a slippery slope now, because now,
That's not his daughter, obviously.
no, it's his
Stepdaughter.
partner's daughter. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, she's got to also say enough. No. She's got to. And here's the point you're making, but I'm going to make it in a different way.
Yeah.
At some point, you have to make a moral decision, not just about if you're going to be seen or not seen, revealed or not revealed, but how much you're driven by money. And this daughter is going to have to decide if she's going to cut off her biggest contributor, who also happens to be dating or married to her mother.
Yeah.
She's got to make a moral decision. And for me, that wouldn't be a hard moral decision. I'm not going to mess up my mom's situation, and I'm not going to invite craziness in my life.
So would your advice to her
For
be to tell her
$500?
mother? Or would you tell her not to not ruin the relationship? Because you would assume that once this was discovered, the mother's probably going to break up with him. And that comes with a bag.
I think I would begin by ending the contact.
First.
Right? He would be blocked.
He's probably already been saved videos and all kinds
Well, you
of
can't,
damage is done.
You can't undo what's done, but
Yeah.
you can make sure that you control the future of the relationship, even if you can't control the past.
Okay.
Would I tell my mom? It depends on the mom. It depends
Who
on
you
the state
dealing
of the
with.
relationship.
Okay.
I would be inclined to suggest that she have a conversation
aware
with
about it?
him about,
Yeah.
friend of mine. I would put it on the third person. Friend of mine, you know what I'm saying?
See how she respond first.
Friend of mine said that if, just to see, but it's kind of
That's interesting.
gray, but clearly he shouldn't be doing it, and she should end his ability to do it. Yeah.
So question, and this is going to be the last one on this topic, and we're going to move on or take us a break. But worst case scenario, since you're good with those. Worst case scenario, you put something out on the internet that got your dingleberries and your
My
coconuts
giblets.
out, your giblets and your
And my butt talks.
you put something out there
My
that
favorite
has
word, butt talk.
that out there.
From Forrest Gump.
Are you okay with your mom or your partner's parents seeing that?
Yeah, I mean, it may not be ideal, but I'm not crushed by the prospect of the experience.
Okay.
First
I've always kind of wondered.
First of all, let me say this. If I had a great body, which I don't, but if I had a great body, I would not give two damns
Yeah.
about who saw this body.
You say that.
I say it because I'm the one talking.
Yeah, but I'm saying it from another perspective of you might feel differently.
What are you trying to say? You have a great body? You have a great body and you feel different?
You like how nicely I went about that though? I'm just saying somebody
No.
might still feel
Yeah,
that
but
way,
that's-
just like you were talking about being naked in the subway on the episode.
No. And that's your perspective. You asked me my perspective.
Yeah, no, I'm curious.
My
though.
perspective is, if I put something out there, and it may be inconvenient,
Yeah.
it may not be ideal, but I am not going to be emotionally, psychologically affected by the fact that my mama saw it. She saw me naked too when I was a baby. You know what I'm saying?
She didn't see you doing that though.
She didn't see me doing that. That's true. But I mean, it's not ideal, but
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep it moving.
Okay.
I am not defined by one moment in my life. I am not defined by one mistake that I have made.
You right.
You will not hold me hostage because of what you know about me. You will not keep me in some terrorist situation because you got a photo. Take your photo and what you know and do whatever you want to do with
Yeah.
it. And I'm still going to be as great as I was born to be.
Amen.
No, that hiding foolishness, running
Yeah.
from something, this is what it is.
People use that.
Call
to,
me or don't call
against
me, like
people.
me or don't like me, invite me or don't invite me, not my problem.
And this actually reminds me of something. I was speaking to a friend not too long ago. I don't know if you're going to believe this, but you probably will. I'm sure you probably heard crazy shit like this. But
You just cursed.
I did again.
Take your shirt off.
Swear draw.
We have a new rule on the show. I don't know if you watched that episode. Every time he curses, just take a piece of clothing off. So take something off. Take your shoe off. Okay, okay, that counts. I tried, people. I tried. I'm doing this for you, all right, ladies, my gay bros. I'm really trying to help us.
I know people that have, ventured down the rabbit hole because they're women and they've had situations that have come up and have found platforms that are around literally taking advantage of people that do this.
Can I stop and say this? You can't blackmail me if I'm not ashamed of it.
No, that's true. That's true.
See, that's what. Let's see. Come on, let's go there.
Yeah.
We're gonna have a little church.
That's a fetish for some people too, though.
We're gonna have a little church right now. You cannot blackmail me if I'm not ashamed of it in the beginning.
You're right.
People can only hold things over you if you feel some type of way.
This is my pushback. It don't matter how you feel about it, but if you have a job or some things that you represent, that's when it starts to affect people's lives really drastically.
How so?
Well, if you're working for, look at the Me Too movement and all the stuff that's happened in our industry, but you see things that happen where people are getting canceled because of decisions that they didn't give a damn about, but that the people that employ them give a damn about. So in those situations, what do you think about that? Because
Well, I think you inaccurately described Me Too, but
that's not it in a nutshell.
I think the point you're making is that what happens when this is something he would do. Let's say Tyler has gotten a photo of me with my berries out, and then I work for Aaron, and he says, if you don't give me money, I'm gonna send these photos to Aaron. Okay, and you're saying it affects my life because now Aaron,
and you could lose your job and blah blah blah.
But why would he fire me? I didn't send him the photos. He did.
That's the world we live in.
But that's my point. My point is, Aaron has no legitimate grounds to fire me because Tyler sent him a photo of my buttock.
Yeah.
All right? I didn't send you a photo of my ass. He did.
Well.
And what? Seeing my ass is so offensive now I'm fired?
This is actually crazy. Wait a minute.
Is that bad? I need to do some more squats?
You just made me think of a real life story where this actually happened.
What is the story?
This actually happened to a friend of mine where he was, and this is just ending like now, but he dealt with being harassed by an ex of his for the last, it's been 3 years, man. And I'm talking about she went nuts, sending things to his family, sending things to everybody he dated since then, sending things to his jobs. He's in the entertainment industry, studios, everybody, producers.
What did she have to send?
Man.
Let's talk about that.
It wasn't even like it was stuff that it was like you would be feeling like you were ashamed of doing. It's stuff that anybody, could be caught doing if you were in a relationship with someone. But, the fact that she sent it directly to so many people that were really connected to him currently.
Hold on, because I want to ask a question. Give me an example of what she sent.
So just imagine.
Because I'm thoroughly interested now.
Imagine you sleeping, and you sleeping on your stomach, and your cheeks is just out, and
my buttocks
is out, and she catches a very revealing photo of you laying like that. And maybe you fart in your sleep or something like that.
I do, by the way.
I think everybody naturally could. You ain't got no control over it at that point.
I definitely do. I farted so hard one time I woke myself up.
That's happened to me too.
Whoa!
I did that in class once, actually.
I got that line from Good Will Hunting.
Oh, that's actually.
That's a line from Good Will Hunting.
I did that in class
That's what
once.
he said he loved the most about her.
I literally did that in class.
You farted so hard you woke yourself up?
And then I blamed it on my teammate sitting next to me.
Back to the story.
Greg, please tell me you remember that story. He lives in Spain now, by the way, but that is one of our funniest memories in life, was going in Spanish class after practice, one of the toughest practices of my career, and I fell asleep.
Okay, stop with this practice story.
Happened.
Back to this story.
That was hilarious.
So the photo of the buttocks.
So yeah, just exposing photos of him and videos of him, when they were in private quarters, of him being exposed naked fully, and then also, more photos and videos.
And what would happen when the people got these photos professionally for him?
They would reach out and be like,
what is this?
Yeah, and who is this person? Because it was just so random. And this went on for years. I'm talking about every day for years, every single day, no days off. He blocked her 1,000,000 times on 1,000,000 different things. And that was her result was, all right, I'm going to go to the people that you've worked for. I'm going to go to everybody that you talk to. I'm going to go to every person that you follow from now on. And it was like a real thing. And now he's getting a huge settlement for it. But this is 3 years later of, hell yeah. He had to move places twice because she put ads up on Craigslist of him with these videos as if he was a prostitute promoting himself and trying to get people to come to this. It was crazy.
Well, that's a whole
And that's why that's why
level.
when we were talking about this conversation before, I'm thinking of the extremes of what could happen. You know what I mean?
Whoa.
Knowing this kind of stuff.
Are we allowed to talk about this?
I'm not using names.
I'm not using no names.
Yeah, don't use names.
But isn't that wild that people do stuff like that? And that's why I be nervous at times just hearing, certain situations. But as a parent, what would you do?
Well, no, let's not put it on parent yet.
No, I won't.
Let me first say, this is why you got to choose better people.
And they dated normally for a long time before
No,
then.
I bet you all the money in my pocket against all the money in his pocket.
There were signs
There were
before.
signs. Nobody just becomes crazy overnight.
That is true.
But obsession, people confuse obsession for love.
Yeah.
And I bet she was obsessive in the relationship. Or it manifested itself in some way.
Yeah, I could.
So that when the breakup came, it was in
writing was already
full
on the
blown.
wall.
She had an object, and she had the pathology, and here it is. So I want to get back to what we're talking about, but I think it's very important that we say to people, choose who you share your information, photos, sex videos,
Whatever
life with very carefully. You shouldn't be sending nudes in the first week. You shouldn't be showing people your dingleberries, and your coochies.
And your kitty cat.
And your kitty cats
Kit Kat.
in the first month. You need to know who these people are,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Now,
At the end of the day.
back to I just don't. Again, if I don't want the world to see it,
You ain't gonna.
I'm not gonna send it.
Yeah.
I don't care. If I send it because I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm comfortable with the consequences that might come along with this.
Okay. According to Leicester Live.
Call it whatever the hell it
In
is.
England, whatever the hell the name is. A man lost his dad's ashes in a Tesco bag for life during a public bar crawl. So
In a what? At a what?
a bar crawl, like a pub. So, he was doing a bar crawl where you go from bar to bar to bar to bar. That's what a pub crawl is.
I don't know nothing about this.
Yeah.
I'm
So he's made an appeal for helping to locate his father's ashes because he lost it in a bag during a 9-hour bar crawl that he was doing.
What the hell does he have his father's ashes out when he's out drinking?
Man, I have no idea. He had returned to his hometown to visit.
So basically, you didn't think the last story was sufficient to annoy me. You just had to find
Oh
something
no,
else.
this is going to, but it's not going to annoy you as much as the last one. Well, it might actually. He had returned to his hometown to visit, with his father's ashes. He intended to ride a roller coaster with his dad's ashes by his side. And after drinking 6 tins of Stella and 5 pints of lager and a couple of bars, he lost the shopping bag that had the wooden casket holding his father's ashes in it.
Okay.
And he didn't realize they were missing until he got home. So he had to go back to every bar. Nobody's found his dad.
I feel sorry for the dad.
Imagine explaining it to his mom.
No, I feel sorry for both of them that they raised an idiot. That they raised a complete damn fool.
Well, find a way to bring this story home then. Because this is our last story for the day.
It's not bringing this home.
You got to try to find something in there.
Yeah, here's what I find. When your kids are stupid, it's not a reflection of you. Okay?
I was not expecting you to say that.
To the parents of this young man, I don't know if you did something wrong,
Just good luck.
but I'm gonna take my ash. Hey, one of my sons told me I'm gonna when you drop dead, we're gonna burn you, and then I'm gonna take your ashes on a roller coaster. I'm gonna slap the hell out of him. I'm gonna slap the water out of his body. You ain't taking my ashes on a roller coaster. What's that? What are you doing?
You wouldn't want to, would you want them dumped somewhere?
It's ashes. I don't care what you do with them. I'm dead. It does not matter. You know what I'm saying?
He said that so serious. That's how I know he meant that.
But here's the thing, though. Give me the respect of not losing them
Yeah. Now we
'Cause
got
you-
1 minute left too, so
because you was drunk.
that was the reason why too.
You want something out of this?
Yeah,
Short?
come on. I want to hear it. I want to laugh.
People are stupid. And there's no protection against that.
And ain't no cure for stupid.
Thank you for watching, everybody. Another great episode of McMillan and Morrow.
Yeah,
We'll
no,
be
this
back
was
next
good.
week. Won't we be back?
We will. We'll be back on Thursday next week. Tune in, 8 p.m. Pacific. We in there. 5 p.m. too.
Yeah,
5
I'm
and
about
8
to say,
p.m.
what kind of
5
times
and
you-
8 p.m. Pacific.
Yeah, don't listen to him with the times. Look at what's on the screen, people.
He's 8 p.m. somewhere. Look.
All right, gotta
It's 8
go.
p.m.
See you next week. He'll
Eastern
figure this out
first.
while we're gone. By
8
next
and
week.
5. Just remember them two numbers.
All
man.
right. Bye-bye. Say bye.
Bye.